Inshallah. I will try my best, Indah.
Okay, Fatin, do ask a lot of questions from Dr. Zuraini. She's very experienced. Okay, I want to correct something. The youngest is actually me. Okay.
You are the youngest. I am also the youngest here lah.
Bukan youngest, sorry, the smallest.
The smallest.
Okay, I will not be doing any opening speech, but I'm really happy that you are here with us. So I will let Tay to continue, and I tengok from the other side. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Indah. Thank you. Take care tau. My saran to enjoy.
Okay.
Okay, so all of you are young. Your principal is still young. The teachers are young. The students are very lucky to have this great team at their school. So how many students do we expect there actually?
Actually, we are expecting all Form 5 students to join.
Okay, how many of them? If everybody is in?
300, right?
Wow!
300.
Fatin, I can hear you. 300, Fatin.
But
My God, you have a large number of students then. What is the total number of students for your school? From Form 1 until Form 5?
I'm that 1,700. I cannot remember.
Okay,
I only remember Form 5 so far.
Triple of the number of my students. I only have
Fatin,
500.
I have shared the YouTube link in our trial group. Oh my God. Oh, then we have more students.
We cannot see the students, right, Fatin? We can only know that they are in, and then they can only chat with us. That's it, right, for StreamYard?
Yes.
Okay.
But we can look at them if we go to the YouTube. We cannot. Sorry, we cannot.
We cannot, right?
We can only read their comments.
Their comments. Okay. So are you going to highlight some of the questions by the students? I am afraid that when I'm doing the presentation, I will miss some of the questions posted by the students.
Yeah, about that, I was about to ask you. Should I stop you or should I just keep the questions?
Stop me.
Oh,
okay. I am afraid if we wait until the end of the session, we might miss some of the points. So just stop me. It's okay.
All right, clear. We are going to start at 8, okay, Kak Ni? Should I call you Kak Ni? It feels very...
Kak Ni, we want to make it like what we call like a coffee talk session. It's going to be very santai. All right. So you feel comfortable with me. I feel comfortable with the school and also the students.
All right. So I should drop the doctor when I'm introducing you?
Drop the doctor, please.
All right, okay.
As I mentioned today, doctor is just like for your self-satisfaction, something that you gain just to add to your knowledge. but not for people to use and call you with that title. Sama je kita
Okay.
Fatin kan, we are all teachers. Okay, after this, after the session, remind me to send the slides to Tay. I'm going to send the
Okay.
whole slides to Tay so that you can use the slides with your other students later.
Is it the same slide that you have shared before? Because we have
Uh,
shared to our actually.
okay, yeah, the ones that you have shared with your students are the PDF form. Okay, and not all the slides are in the PDF. I have
Okay.
selected the slides.
All right. Inshallah, I will remind you if I remember.
Just remind me, just text me, not to worry. Okay, now we become friends. You all kan muda-muda, so you become my younger sisters. Oh, Tess have connection problem. But
Yeah,
we can still we can still show the slide.
yes, because it's from you and T have broadcasted it, so I think it's okay.
Okay.
Should we
Kita
start?
try.
Or?
Alright. Kita okay bergerak. I can hear you all online. Oh, tak boleh mengumpat lah ni. Pengetua baru nak mengumpat dah. She can listen to us. Tak jadi. This one will be recorded, right, Fatin?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, they has broadcasted the channel. Please let me in. We can read your messages. Tuan Pengetua, but you are not in. We are still waiting for Tay because Tay has a problem. The connection problem. Oh, macam Fatin, you cannot let your Pengetua in. It's only the Tay is in already.
Yeah, I have some connections problem just now.
Okay,
What is that? Oh my god, the connection is really bad here.
Is it raining, Tay, over there?
So far, there are only 24 online, so we will have to. No, it's not raining. No, it's not raining, but the connection is really bad today. I don't know why.
Tay, your Pengetua is asking to be let in.
Tay? Okay, one more minute. Tay, can you hear?
Tay, you need to switch on your mic. Oh, again. Tay is missing from the connection again.
I think we can start, right?
Okay.
Is missing. Can all right. Okay. Welcome everyone and good evening. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I am Teacher Fatin. In case you guys have forgotten me. Okay. Before we start, I would like to check the whether you can see and hear us well. Can you hear? If yes, you can just say right yes you can just write yes in the comment section. Hi. Okay, I think that you can hear me, right? Okay. Great. Our topic today is answering techniques for SPM English Language Paper 2 that will be presented by Dr. Zuraini binti Arifin. Okay, just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any question during the presentation, please type them in the comment section and I'll bring them up during the presentation, and we will also have time for Q&A section at the end of the webinar. Now, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, Dr. Zuraini binti Arifin, or you should call as Teacher Ni, is it?
Yes.
A remarkable person who has herself served as a teacher for more than 20 years. She obtained her bachelor degree in TESOL from UKM and master in TESOL for UPM. Then she continued her PhD in extensive reading at UUM. We are really thankful for her taking the time out of her busy schedule to join our webinar tonight, as she is not only the TKMP Bahasa for SMK Kemumin, Kelantan, but also a part-time tutor for OUM Open University Malaysia. Tonight, she is going to talk to us about the answering techniques for writing paper. This is a topic in which all of you should all be deeply interested in, because it will help you to answer the questions better. Now, without further ado, I will turn the time over to our speaker for tonight. Welcome, Teacher Ni.
Thank you, Fatin. Okay, thank you, Teacher Tay, who is already missing from the scene. Okay, so students, you are going to be with me for the next 2 hours. Okay, hopefully, okay, you are going to gain something because it is from far away. Okay, right from Kota Baru, Kelantan to SMK Taman Mount Austin, Johor Bahru. Okay, let us start now. Okay, as the SPM students, these are the levels that you need to know already. Okay, I really hope that these levels are clear to you. Okay, because once you understand where you are, okay, you place yourself to which level, then you know how to improve yourselves. Okay, for SPM, we are looking at these two levels, students. We are looking at B1 and B2 upper intermediate and also intermediate level. So it is the hope of MOE and also the Examination Syndicate of Malaysia that all students who are going to sit for SPM, they have already reached these two levels of competency. Okay. But some of you might still be here. That is the elementary level. That's why you have to double your effort so that you are going to move to B1 intermediate level. To say that we are in the B1 intermediate level, it is very easy. Okay, you have the ability to understand the main points of clear standard input on familiar matters. Okay, that is the key word there. The familiar matters regularly encountered in work, school, and when you are doing your leisure activities. Those are the language that is the kind of language that we are going to use when we are talking about something that is very close to us. Okay, that is around us. Okay, that is the B1 intermediate language competency. Okay, if you think that your language is higher than that, you should go one higher up, that is placing yourself into the B2 upper intermediate, in which you are expected to understand main ideas of complex text. Okay, both on concrete and abstract topics. So now we are moving out from our comfort zone. We are talking about the global things. We are talking about the pandemic. We are talking about environment, the pollution, and you should be able to give the advantages and disadvantages of the topics that we discuss. Okay, if you are able to do that, that means you are under the upper intermediate B2 level. And if you think that B1 is a bit too low for me, B2 is so, okay, now you can upgrade yourself and proudly say, okay, I am the C1 advanced level. So that means you can understand a wide range of demanding longer text and recognize implicit meaning. We are not talking the explicit meaning, that is the ones that are printed, okay, those meanings that are printed on papers. We need to be able to understand the deeper meaning of the text. Okay, that is what we call as the implicit meaning. If you are able to do that, you are the C1 advanced level language user. So place yourself. Okay, this is something that your teachers might be able to identify. Okay, student A will be put under B1 band, student B will be put under B2 band. Okay, or a C1 or A2. But it still depends on you as the language users. So you know which part should I improve, what are the parts that I need to concentrate so that I can go one higher up. Okay, so it is our aims, okay, hopefully that all of you, all the SPM students will reach at least the B2 upper intermediate level. Okay. So these are the papers that you're going to sit for. Okay, stop saying that you do not know how many papers that you are going to be assessed. Okay, for SPM 2021. And you know that you are the special batch, second special batch right after the SPM 2020 students. Okay, you are the SPM 2021 students, candidates, but you are going to sit for the SPM, okay, for the exam in 2022. Okay, for the first paper, okay, paper 1 reading and paper 2 writing, these two papers, they will be assessed in March 2022. Okay, and for the next two papers, that is speaking and also listening papers, they will be assessed in February 2022. So as you can see, you only have about 5 more months to go before you enter the battle of SPM. Okay, so you need to know the duration of the paper. Okay, for paper 1, only 1 hour and 30 minutes, and you are going to answer 5 parts of the questions altogether, and you are going to get 40 marks. Okay, that means only one question will give you 1 mark. So please really be careful when answering the question, because once you miss one question, bye-bye 1 mark. Okay, so you need to really take care and be careful when you are answering each question so that you can get the maximum marks for reading. Okay, and for writing, that is my forte and also the focus for us tonight. Okay, you are going to answer 3 essays altogether, also in 1 hour and 30 minutes, and you are going to get 60 marks out of the 3 essays. Okay, this one we are going to go in depth after this. Okay, speaking paper is going to be like, yay, it's going to be the shortest paper overall. Okay, only 13 minutes. So you enter the room with your partner and you are going to be tested in 3 parts. Okay, altogether. Okay, and after 13 minutes, God willing, inshallah, you are going to get 24 marks. A short one, right? Only 13 minutes. And for listening papers, you are going to be tested in 4 parts altogether. Okay, 40 minutes is allocated for this paper, and there will be only 30 questions, and you are going to get 30 marks out of the 30 questions. So as you can see, it is being said again and again, okay, by all teachers. They said that the skills are equally rated. Okay, so for each skill, you are going to get 25%. Okay, 25% for reading, 25% from writing, 25% from speaking and listening. But if you look at the total marks carefully, you will notice that the most mark comes from writing. That is 60 marks. So although they are equally rated, okay, equal weightage given to each skill, but the total marks are different. So be careful of that. So that is why we are focusing on our paper 2 writing for tonight. Okay, so I put it in this diagram, so it is going to be very easy for you to see, and after this you are not going to be confused of what types of papers, how many papers, okay, that you are going to sit for your SPM 2021. Okay, inshallah. All right, so now we are going to zoom into our 11192, that is writing paper. There will be 3 sections altogether, and all these sections aimed at A2, B2, CEF range. That was why I highlighted the stages just now, so that you know what does it mean when we are talking about A2, B1, B2. And of course, although it is not stated here, there will be a bit of C1 range. Okay, C1 will also be tested in part 3 of the writing paper. Later, we will see what does it mean by C1 range. Okay, with an increase in level as the candidate progresses through the test. So it is like part 1 is going to be the easiest part. Then we move on to part 2 that is going to be harder, and part 3 that is the hardest part for you to score. Word limits in place for each test part, but don't worry about word limits, because for CFR, we are not going to impose any penalty for you if you write underline, okay, which means that you do not reach the required number of words. Or you write overline. You just cannot stop writing. You just write and write and write until you write more than the required number of words. Okay, as far as we are concerned, all the teachers are concerned, no penalty will be imposed to you, but then you need to remind yourself that the duration of the test is only 1 hour and 30 minutes, and you have 3 essays to be completed. Just imagine that. So you cannot be too obsessed in answering one part until you don't have time to complete the second and the third part. Okay, that is why time management is very important when you are answering the writing paper. So 60 marks are available in the test, and hopefully we are going to get the maximum mark for each part. Okay. These are the papers that we are going to sit for next year, so be ready. Part 1, informal message email, only 80 words, okay, 20 marks. Part 2, formal text, guided writing, okay, in about 125 to 150 words, also 20 marks. And part 3, an extended text, 200 to 250 words, you are going to be given 3 text types or 3 genres, okay? An article, a review, a report, or a story. So you need to learn 4 text types, but then during the exams, there will be only 3 types of questions that are going to be posted, and you need to choose one. So part 1 is a compulsory, a must for you to answer. Part 2 is also compulsory, and for part 3, 3 questions will be given, and you are supposed to only answering 1 question. Okay, if you look here, because I am going to just post the questions that the other students have or have questioned to me during my other sessions. Okay. For part 1, there will be no other format besides email. Okay, only email will be tested in part 1. So stop asking your teacher, is there any possibility that letter writing will come out? No. Okay, only email, and then it is going to be informal. So no job application email. Okay, no writing of email to apply for a job. No. Okay, we are talking about informal message in an email type. Okay, so it is like writing to your friend, writing to your brother or sister, or writing to your cousins. Okay, very informal one, because part 1, it is aimed for A2 and also B1 level. So this is the lowest level for the writing. Okay, for part 2 is going to be formal text. All right, as I mentioned just now, 125 to 150 words. Starting from part 2, because we are talking here about formal text, and part 3 also formal text. Please stop yourself. If you have your notes now, jot down on your in your notebook. Stop yourself from using contractions. That means do not use don't, shouldn't, mustn't, can't. Okay, you need to spell in the full form. All right, because this is considered as a formal text. Okay, except, okay, there is an exceptional there. If you have chosen to write a story. Okay, if you have chosen to write a story, that means you are allowed to use the contraction in the dialogue. Okay, but the other parts of the story, you still need to use the full form of the spelling. Okay, clear about the 3 parts that you're going to sit for? I really hope that I have made it clear to you. Okay, now, these are the marking aspects. Okay, once you have finished writing your essay, you send your essay to your teacher. Your teacher will write C, CA, OL. Those are the 4 compartments, or 4 4 aspects that we are going to assess the students. Okay, for content, I really highlight this part. Okay, content, especially for part 1 and part 2, try to get full marks. Okay, what are the full marks? 5 marks. Okay, I am repeating this for part 1 and part 2. Try to get 5 marks. Why? Because once you answer the 3 questions given to you, you can get the 5 marks. Okay, you don't have to really think of the elaborations to be given. Okay, just by answering the tasks given in the questions, both in part 1 and part 2, you can easily get 5 marks. Okay, but it is going to be a bit different in part 3, because part 3 is like answering a long text. Okay, we need more elaboration, we need more examples for the content. Okay, for communicative achievement, we are looking at 3 things. Okay, the first thing is the use of the correct text type of the genre. Okay, if you are writing an email, it looks like an email. If you are writing a report, it looks like a report. Okay, although it is being said again and again, for CFR, we do not really care or we would say that we do not really focus on the format that you're going to use, but it needs to be laid out correctly. Okay, and then it also must be written with the correct register. Okay, that means if you are writing to a friend, so it's going to be informal. If you are writing to, for example, in part 2 and part 3, so you need to use the formal register. Okay, and how clearly the ideas are explained. So we really hope we are encouraging the students, you go according to the bullet points. Okay, do not try to mix the bullet points. That means you are answering question number 1 and suddenly you jump to number 3 and then you come back to number 2. Okay, we do not want that kind of answer from the students. Okay, we want the answers to be clearly laid and clearly explained one by one. That is communicative achievement, and by doing that, you should be able to attract the reader's interest in reading the essay until the end. If you are able to do that, that means 5 marks will be yours. Okay, for organization, you will realize that when I'm talking about organization, I'm going to smile, okay, because this is another aspect that students can easily score 5 marks, especially for part 1, part 2, and part 3. Okay, I'm not talking about only for part 1 and part 2, but for all the 3 parts. Okay, why? Because if we go, okay, we are going to go to the second bullet first. Okay, well-planned, organized, and well-paragraphed. That means if you know how to put your essays into good paragraphing, okay, the essays have paragraph, clearly stated, okay, the ideas, and then you are able to use cohesive devices. Okay, cohesive devices, there are 4 types of cohesive devices, and we are going to zoom in into these types of cohesive devices, in which once you master the use of cohesive devices, inshallah, your organization can easily score 5 marks. Okay, so we are looking only at these 2 aspects for organization. There is the well-planned or well-organized essay, and also the use of cohesive devices. So why not, now you know already how to score, you focus on these aspects of the language that will help you out to get the maximum marks for organization. And now we go to the final part, that is L, language. Okay, language, we are looking at 2 things. First is the use of simple and complex grammar structures. Okay, these are the things that you need to learn from your teachers. Okay, so if you are able to come up with simple sentence and compound sentences by using the cohesive devices or conjunctions, that is not enough for you to score 5 marks for your part 3. Okay, in part 3, we are looking at the use of complex structures. So you will, you know now that, okay, that is one aspect that I need to really focus. That is building up, constructing the complex grammar structures in your writing task. Although your sentences might look long, they can be only the compound sentence instead of complex structures. So how to build a complex structures? Those are the things that you need to really deal with your teachers in your PDPR class. Okay, and the second part is we are looking at the less common lexis. Okay, do not ask me, teacher, should we use bombastic words? No, I am not talking about bombastic words here. I am talking about less common lexis. Lexis means words. Less common here is referring to the words that we rarely used in our daily communication. But we are going to use these words in our formal writing. So you don't have to plug here plug there trying to get all the big words and try to impress your teachers or your examiners by using all the bombastic words. No, okay? We will see one of the examples written by the students and the marks were given by LPM. Okay, how the student managed to use simple language, okay, but still with the complex grammar structures and not many of the bombastic words, but the student managed to use less common lexis in the essay, and that will give you 5 marks. Okay, I really hope that these things are clear. Okay, these are the aspects that you are going to be assessed in your essay, okay, for each part. So part 1 CCAOL, part 2 CCAOL, and part 3 CCAOL. Okay, that is how that the aspects that you need to know. Okay, that is what are the aspects that you need to know in getting maximum marks. Okay, now welcome to part 1 email. Okay, get ready. Okay, to get 5 marks out. Now I am challenging the Mount Austin students. Okay, I really hope that for part 1, remember, as I mentioned earlier, part 1 is meant for A2 and B1 level. So this is the lowest level for SPM. Okay, for SPM candidate. So I am challenging you now. Please get 20 over 20 for part 1. Okay, why? Because for content, you can see very clearly here, all content is relevant to the task and target reader is fully informed. You are going to get 5 marks. That means if you answered all the 3 questions posed in the question, okay, in the question, you can easily get 5 marks. But if you miss one of the question, let's say you answer question 1 and question 2 only, and you miss the third question, bye-bye 5, welcome 3 marks. Okay, that is how the marks of content will be given to you. So why do you want to waste your opportunity to get 5 marks? Now you know that, oh, I have to answer each task given in the question, so that I will get 5 marks for the content. Okay, for communicative achievement, to be able to get 5, you are expected to produce a text that communicates straightforward ideas. We do not want all the flowery language yet because this is an email. Okay, you don't have to beat around the bush trying to explain things, too many things, but we still need an elaboration. Okay, for one content point, I would like to advise you just come up with one elaboration because according to the mark scheme here, okay, the assessment scale here, it is said that if you are able to produce a text that communicates straightforward ideas using the conventions of the communicative task reasonably appropriately, you deserve to get 5 marks for communicative achievement. And for organization, okay, as I mentioned earlier, this is the part that you can score, okay, 5 marks easily. Why? If you are able to use simple connectors, okay, look at my fingers now, okay. We have 6 simple connectors. This is not being mentioned by me. Okay, I am referring to the notes given by Examination Syndicate. Okay, the simple connectors are and, because, so, but, also, or. Okay, again, and, so, but, because, or, and first. These 6 are considered as simple connectors, and the rest, in addition, first and foremost, furthermore, last but not least, they are considered as cohesive devices. Okay, if you are able to use at least 3 or 4 of the simple connectors in your email and 2 or 3 of the cohesive devices in your email, you will get 5 for your organization. So you cannot focus only the use of the simple connectors, or we call them as the conjunctions. Okay, the 6 just now, as I listed just now. Okay, you cannot just use that. You need to use the cohesive devices so that you can secure the 5 marks given to you. Okay, language. It is very simple because we are focusing on A2, B1 level. Okay, if you're able to use basic vocabulary, simple grammatical forms, we are not talking about complex structure yet here. Okay, we are talking about simple grammatical forms with a good degree of control. Okay, that means errors are still there, but you manage to write simple grammatical forms correctly and the meaning comes through. Errors are still not noticeable, but meaning can still be determined. You deserve to get 5. That was why I mentioned earlier again and again that you should get 20 over 20 for your email writing, because it is very easy for you to score. If this is too much, okay, look at 3. and you will not want to get these marks. Okay, why? Because for content, you will get 3 marks if there is a minor irrelevance or omissions may be present. That means you miss one of the content point. Of course, you are going to really blame yourself. Okay, why did I miss that one content point? Now I get only 3 for my content marks. Okay, we do not want that to happen during SPM. Okay, communicative achievement, produce a text that communicate simple ideas in simple ways. You do not give any elaboration to the content point. You just write directly. Okay, this is the place that we should visit. Okay, and then we are going to go there by bus. Okay, so it is very direct, no elaboration at all for the content point. So bye-bye 5, welcome 3 for communicative achievement. Are you going to lose mark because of your carelessness in just writing the elaboration for one each content point? Do not miss that. Okay, for organization, text is connected using basic high frequency connectors. Remember the 6 just now? Okay, if in your email you only use and, because, so, or, but, and then first. Okay, you use only these 6. Okay, or you use only these 4 without any in addition, without furthermore, without all in all, without last but not least. Okay, you do not use the what do we call just now? The cohesive devices at all. Okay, you only use that 6. Okay, that means you are saying, come here, 3 marks for my organization. Are you going to lose mark because of this? Now you know already. You can use 3 or 4 of the high frequency connectors, the 6 as I mentioned earlier, and use 2 or 3 of the cohesive devices, and you will secure 5 marks for your organization. Okay, language, use basic vocabulary reasonably. That means you try to spell beautiful, but it was wrongly spelled. A and U, you misplaced the vowel. Okay. Use simple grammatical forms with some degree of control. When we are talking about some degree of control in CFR, that means there are errors in your sentence construction. Okay, for example, I go to school with my mother. Okay, that is a very simple structure. Okay, but then you write down, I goes to school. So the errors are there, but still you manage to form the grammatical forms of the sentence. Cuma ada errors there inside the sentence construction. Okay, that is the meaning of some degree of control. So bye-bye 5, welcome 3 marks for language. Errors may impede meaning at times. Okay, what is the meaning of impeding? Okay, impede meaning means your teachers are reading your essay. Okay, and then suddenly at the end of one of the sentences, she has to stop. And she has to reread the line again to understand what you are trying to convey. So that means the errors have impeded the meaning of the essay. So once that happens, okay, that means you are going to get 3 for your language mark. Now you have understand, okay, you understand already how the marks are going to be allocated for you. I'm not going to touch on the mark for one band because we do not want the 1 mark, right? Okay, so I come up with this. Okay, this is my formula that I shared with so many schools already. Alhamdulillah, it was accepted by the teachers and also the students, and I got a very positive feedback about the use of GR123C. Okay, when answering an email, you need to greet. Okay, of course, we need to greet our reader. Okay, our reader is the person who has sent you the email because you are replying to an email. So G referring to greeting. So I put here, how do you greet in an email? Okay, in greeting, okay, for an email is going to be very simple. Dear Anne, to Anne, hi, hello Anne. Okay, you do not have to put good morning. I really hope that you are in a good I really hope that you are in the pink of health. We do not want that. We are not writing a letter. We are writing an email. So an email is supposed to be direct. Okay, so I put the G, okay, example of greetings in the first box, and the R, response. Again, here I have the example of responses that you can use. I am glad to hear from you. Thanks for writing to me. I received your email yesterday. So it's going to be a very short response. All right. And then we are going to go 1, 2, 3. Teacher, why only 1, 2, 3? No 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, because in the question, there will be only 3 tasks that you have to attend to. So we are looking at the 1, 2, 3 content point and 1, 2, 3 elaboration. Okay, this is my suggestion. It is not a must for you to follow. Okay, but if you follow this one, it's going to be very easy for you to score the marks for each of the aspects that I have delivered just now. I have shared just now. And then, of course, for our email, we need to have a closing. That is why I have the C there. C stands for closing. So if you ask me how are we going to close our email, I put the examples of closing here in the box. Do keep in touch, looking forward to your next email. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you for your help. Write back soon. So these are some of the examples of how you can write out your closing. And of course, I want my students to score for their O, organization. As I mentioned just now, okay, and you are going to listen to this again and again tonight. Okay, O, organization, is referring to paragraphing and the use of cohesive devices and conjunctions. Okay, so I put here conjunctions. Those are the six cohesive devices that I have mentioned earlier. So I put all these things here. And then you are going to ask me, because I know one of the good students asked me, teacher, I think I have more cohesive devices than you have shared with us. Of course, you have known more of the cohesive devices. There are actually lots of cohesive devices. All right. But then this is part 1. Okay, remember, to get 5 marks for part 1, you only need to use 3 or 4 of the simple connectors and also 2 or 3 of the cohesive devices, and that should be enough for you to get 5 for your organization. That was why I just listed the important cohesive devices for the students to use. All right. So these are the formula that we are going to use for our next practice. That is GR 1, 2, 3, C. Remember that. GR 1, 2, 3, C. Greeting, response, content elaboration 1, 2, 3. Closing, cohesive devices, and the use of conjunctions. All right. This is our first part. Okay. That is our sample question. All right, let us read together. You received an email from your friend Jenny, who wants to know about your experience joining an essay writing competition. Hi, congratulations for becoming the second runner-up for an essay writing competition. How did you know about the competition? Who inspired you to join it? How did you react when you knew the result? Okay, there was a typo there. Okay, double when you. All right, we cancel that one. When you knew the result, I am so proud of you. Hope to hear from you really soon. Okay, this is an example of an email question that you are going to get. They are going to be very simple, and it is very easy for you to identify the parts that you need to answer. As I mentioned just now, once you get the question, identify the 3 questions that you need to attend to. Okay, so it is highlighted here, or I have already underlined here. How did you know about the competition? That is question number 1. Okay, who inspired you to join it? That is question number 2. How did you react when you knew the result? Okay, that is question number 3. So make sure you are answering all these 3 questions so that you are going to secure the 5 marks for your content. Okay. So what is this, teacher? Okay, this is what we call as 1 husband and 5 wives. Okay, all English teachers are using this. But now I am giving more husbands and more wives to this formula. So instead of how, now we are talking about how much, how many, how long, how often. Instead of only 5 wives, now I'm giving this husband 6 wives. What, why, when, where, which, and who. Okay, what is the use of these questions? Okay, what is the use of 1 husband and 5 wives? Okay, we need to use these questions to ask ourselves, and later we ourselves are going to answer the questions, and our questions will be our elaborations. It looks like stupid, right? My students, my naughty ones will say, teacher, we are answering ourselves and then we have to answer ourselves. Of course, who are going to answer for you during exams? Okay, so you need to construct the question in your mind, ask yourself, and you need to come up with the answer. And that silly act of asking and answering by your own is going to provide you with the elaboration. So why not? All right. So that is one of the ways for you to get the elaborations. Okay, I give my students the table. Okay, they are getting the blank table. So this one is already the answers are already given here. So that is going to be very clear for you to see. So my formula here, GR123C, I put the formula up here, and then the students need to write again the GR123C here in the margin. Okay, so we start with greeting, and then the students will be no more after the first practice in class, because I gave them this what do we call pamphlet. Okay, I gave them this pamphlet as a flyer, okay, as a gift. All right, I told them after this no more of asking me how to start writing your email. So it's very easy for them. Okay, you have this one, I have already shared with you. You just print out. All right, so this one is like a magazine paper, just a gift for my students. All right, so for greetings, they just choose from the box, the first box. Okay, they have chosen hello Jenny. Okay, response, thanks for writing to me. So they do not have to think about the greetings and about the response anymore. Done. Okay, so they proudly say, teacher, done with G, done with R. Okay, greeting and response done. Okay, now as I mentioned just now, I encourage these students to come up with one elaboration for each content point. Okay, content one. How did you know about the competition? That is the first question. I knew about the competition from the poster shared by the organizer in Instagram. Or you can say, I knew about the competition from the magazine that I have bought from a nearby stall. Okay, so any answer to that question, you have secured 1 mark for your content. And remember, okay, we are not going to stop there. We are going to provide the elaboration. So use our 1 husband and 5 wives. Okay, so I use the first one, that is what? What made you want to join it? You saw the poster, okay? What made you want to join? What made you want to join it? Okay, so the students answer, the poster really attracted my attention because of the topics given. And now because they have this already, and they know, oh teacher, you want us to secure the O, the organization marks. So they started using from the list. They have used initially, they have because here. All right, because they really want to secure 5 marks for the organization. Okay, they know the tricks already to get 5. Okay, so done. Now they can proudly cancel content 1. Now we go to content 2. Who inspired you to join it? Okay, their first answer, because I am teaching average to special. They are not weak, but they are special because they do not like English. So I have to really encourage them and force them to write. Okay, their first answer to this question is, Madam Sharifah encourage me to enter, and then I count the number of words in front of them. Madam Sharifah encourage me to enter, only 6 words, and you are at the SPM level. Okay, when we challenge the students like that, the students will come up with another structure. They are good, actually, they are good, and you are good. Okay, but sometimes you just feel like, Allah, just answer like that lah. All right. So we do not want that. We want you to be ambitious because this is SPM level. So they reconstruct the answer, the sentence, and they come up with another sentence that is, when I asked Madam Sharifah about it, she encouraged me to enter. And this is complex structure. They do not notice this. Okay. Once they use when, okay, and then they combine the 2 sentences, it becomes a complex structure. But it's okay because in part 1, we are not looking at complex structure, right? We are looking at only simple structure. Okay, they cannot be happy yet because, okay, I remind them that for content 2, you need another elaboration. Okay, what was my question to them? I asked them, what did Madam Sharifah do? Okay, Madam Sharifah encouraged you to enter. What did she do? Okay, their answer, she also helped me out by checking my grammar and sentence structure. Since they have this flyer with them, they said, teacher, why not this time we use without any doubt? Okay, now they are putting another cohesive device. They are using also here, and they are using and here. See, in one sentence, they have how many? They have 3 cohesive devices and also conjunctions used. Okay, because they are so ambitious to get organization 5 marks. All right. So cancel now. Tick elaboration. So 2 done. Now we are going to content 3. How did you react when you knew the result? Okay, this was their answer, their original answer. Okay, I screamed out loud only 4 words, and I said, please, students, only 4 words. I would send you to the school beside our school is the primary school. Okay, so you should go back to the primary school. Okay, I scream out loud. No lah, only 4 words. Okay, then they say, oh teacher, can we use the interjection? Okay, this is what we call interjection. Of course, well, you see, okay, we want that kind of interjection because these interjections help the email to sound very friendly. Okay, so why not, students? After this, you use the interjection in writing out your email. But I would like to remind you, do not use acronyms. Okay, ASAP, FYI. Okay, we do not encourage you to use acronym. Interjection, yes. All right. So they put this one and then they are going to use another cohesive device that is at first. Okay. And then we have another one that is then. Okay. So we have, of course, it was unbelievable at first. Then I screamed out loud. So in that one sentence again, we have 3 types of cohesive devices used by the students. But you cannot be happy yet because you need to come up with elaboration. And then I ask one silly question. You scream out loud. Why? That is only one word. Why? Okay. Why did you scream out loud? Okay. Why? Because I am really happy because I had the courage to join the competition, and they are using another conjunction that is because that. So now they can proudly tick number 3. So that means they have secured all the content points. Okay. All the 3 questions are being answered. So automatically C will be 3. Okay. I want to show you here. C will be 3. CA, Communicative Achievement. Once you read this essay done by these students, okay, because they discussed this, okay, it was like a smooth reading. All right, and then we have enough what we call elaborations. Okay, that is why I mentioned earlier, try to give one elaboration for each content point. So this student managed to get 5 for CA. And also for organization, look at the ones that I have already circled. Okay, we have so many what do we call cohesive devices and the use of conjunctions. So welcome 5. And L, do you still remember the use of simple language and simple everyday vocabulary? 5. So this simple essay managed to get 20 over 24 and email. Oh, I forget one thing, that is GR123C. What about C? Okay, we are talking about C here. Closing, remember closing? So the students just refer to the flyer again and they take the closing. Now they become like, oh, teacher, we can have 2 closing because they do not have to think, right? They just pick up from the flyer. So thank you for your wish. Do keep in touch. Okay, remember to have the closing for your email. Okay, this is the final product, my dear. Okay. And then you will say, teacher, only 77 words. Okay, what was the required number of words for part 1? 80 words, right? 80 words. All right. As I mentioned just now, for CEFR, there will be no penalty imposed to you if you write underlength or overlength essay as long as they are answering all the questions and you are on the right track. Okay, 77 words. Remember, okay, please jot down this. For part 1, there is an email writing. We advise you to spend only 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, 15 to 20 minutes only for part 1 because we only have 1 hour and 30 minutes. And I would like to show you another example. This is from an ambitious student, all right? So this girl said, teacher, I want to write more. Okay, so she decided to give 2 elaborations for 1 content point. So she followed our discussion for G. For R, there is greeting and response. For content 1, CE1, and then E1, but she adds this one. She added 1 more sentence. One of the topics was close to my heart. That makes content point number 1 has 2 elaborations. And then for content number 2, again, she said, teacher, I want to be different from my classmates. Okay, so I'm adding 1 more elaboration for content 2. So she added 1 more elaboration for content 2. In addition, she said, I could sharpen my writing skills. Okay, and for content 3, when I asked her, do you want to add one more elaboration? And she said, no, teacher. The 2 sentences will differ me from my other classmates. Okay, and then look at the final product. After she put in the what do we call extra elaborations for the 2 content points. Look at the total number of words, 118 words. Okay, we were supposed to write only 80 words, and we only have how many minutes? 15 to 20 minutes for part 1. Okay, and then the student asked me to mark the essay. What did I give? CAOL. Okay, 5, 5, 5, 5, 20 over 20. And then at that point, she didn't really understand about the marking scale yet. Okay, and then she asked me, teacher, I am writing 118 words. My friends, they are producing only 77 words. How come we get the same marks? Why? Because that 77 words just now has already fulfilled all the bullet points to get 5, 5, 5, 5. And you are too ambitious, you are adding more elaborations, and you also get 20 over 20. But you have wasted your time doing the elaborations, writing the elaboration. So students, my point here is that why waste your time? Okay, because you only have 1 hour and 30 minutes, and you are advised to spend only 15 to 20 minutes for part 1. Why waste your time to write long elaborations when you can actually get full marks 20 over 20 just by giving 1 elaboration for 1 content point? Okay, remember the use of GR123C. Okay, what is next, teacher? Are we done with our part 1? No, not yet. Okay, this is the second example of email. All right. This is taken from LPM, but I amended a bit here and there to suit my formula GR123C. Okay, let us read the email quickly. Okay, come, read with me. You receive an email from your new friend Alia who has just moved to your neighborhood. Hello, do you have any plan for this weekend? Here, let's go for a picnic with our classmates. Where shall we go and what can we do there? What should we bring with us? Write back soon. Bye. Now write an email to your friend in about 80 words. Write your answer below. Okay, now let us take a look at the sample answers here. Okay, I put my formula here in the colorful ink. We have the GRCE123. Okay, here, and then we have the closing here. And then I put the content up here in the yellow box. Okay, so that we are not going to miss answering any of the content points. Where shall we go? What can we do there? And what should we bring? Okay, hi Alia, I am so glad that you have brought this matter up as I had nothing planned for this weekend. A very long a very long response to the email. Okay, I would say, oh, you are wasting your time here, but it's okay. I am so excited and I know just the place for our picnic. Still not answering any of the questions. Okay, it will be at Delta Park just beside Jerry Road. Answering question number 1 now. Okay, so the one in blue, answering question number 1. Where shall we go? Okay, it will be at Delta Park just beside Cherry Road. And then here comes the elaboration. It is a beautiful park. Okay, we can play frisbee there since the park is huge. Answering question number 2. What can we do there? Okay, and then the student give another elaboration for point number 2. We will have our space without bothering other people. That is elaboration for content 2. Don't forget to bring your mat. Answering question number 3. What should we bring? Okay, don't forget to bring your mat to place our food, and I will bring mine too. Okay, and then we have another elaboration here. I will also bring some snacks. If you want. Errors there. Okay, so click, you will get that one. Okay, there is some structure which is incorrectly used there. Okay, we can invite Tina and Zila to join us too. It will be more fun with them around. All right. Another interjection, right? All right. Just now we have of course and now all right. Do update me if something comes up. So the ones that I have underlined, we have as, and, since, we have and again, if, we have also, we have to, we have all right. So those are the cohesive devices that are being used that were used by the students. So this one award the marks for this essay. Content, tick tick tick, answering all the content questions, so 5 marks. All right, CA, very easy reading, the explanation is there and we are interested to read, and it looks like an email, although you would say that, teacher, this one only has one paragraph. Still, there is a paragraph, right? Okay, so that was why organization was given 5, paragraphing and the use of cohesive devices, and CA just now friendly tone. Okay, 5, and the language, simple language errors are there. Okay, so it is not expected that you are going to produce a clear cut essay without any errors. So as you can see here, as you can see in the previous one, there are errors, but we still managed to get 5 because for part 1 we expect you to use simple grammar structures and also everyday vocabulary. So 20 over 20. So that is why I mentioned to you just now, it is very easy for you to score for part 1. If you apply this formula, it is going to be easier and clearer for you. So remember this, GR123C. All right. So we are moving on to part 2. Any question regarding part 1? If you want to ask any question regarding part 1, you can type in or you can they voice out? Okay, not right. They can just type. Okay, I'm looking at the chat box. If there is any question from any of the students, no question. Fatin? No? Teacher Fatin, no question also. Teacher Tin, no question?
So far the question is very clear.
Okay. I hope that it is very clear for the students for part 1.
I hope so. So for those who have any doubt, please type your questions. Then Dr. Aini will clear your doubts. She will answer your questions. So far, everyone say okay.
Why can't I see their chat? I can see it stop only at Fatin saying that only Tay. And then
because you are actually at the private chat, you will have to go to comments.
Oh yes.
Yeah, if you go to comments, you'll be able to see.
Okay. Because I am new with this StreamYard. Oh, cannot click that day. I cannot click. It's only at the private chat. But I tried to click at the comments. I cannot go to the comments.
If they have any questions, I will click on their comments and you will be able to see on your screen.
Okay, that is better. All right.
Okay.
Oh, now I can see it. Oh, wow. There are so many students actually. Now I can see the students. All right. Okay, so I will continue for part 2.
Sure.
All right. Tanya je. That is why your pengetua said tanya je. Okay, tanya je. It's okay. All right. Now we go to part 2. That is formal text. Remember for this part, avoid using contractions. Okay, I would say this again and again. Avoid using contraction. All right. So guided writing essay in about 125 to 150 words, and 20 marks will be yours. Okay, God willing, inshallah. So for this part, I would like to advise you only to use 30 minutes. Okay, just now part 1, 15 to 20 minutes. Part 2, only 30 minutes. So what is the balance time that you have with you now? 40 minutes. That is for part 3, and also for you to review all the 3 parts to check for your spelling or grammar errors. See, that is the important for you to plan for your answer, and that is important for you to really try to keep to the number of words as assigned for each part. Okay, we don't want you to be too obsessed in writing in one part. All right, so welcome to part 2. Okay, these are the marks that you need to get. 5. What do we call? Jadilah orang yang tamak. Please be greedy. Okay, please be greedy to get all these marks. Okay, I really want you to get 20 over 20 for part 2. Okay, all content is relevant to the task. Part 2, you will be assessed, you will be tested, also answering 3 questions. So if you are able to answer all these 3 questions, welcome 5. Okay, there is no reason for your teacher to deduct any of your marks. All right. So you are going to get 5 marks if you answer all the 3 questions. Communicative achievement, use the conventions of the communicative task. Okay, now we add just a bit more here. To hold the target reader's attention. Okay, we want you to be able to attract your reader's attention, so your readers want to read until the end of your essay and communicate straightforward ideas appropriately. Okay, again, if you notice that for CFR, we really focus on communicating straightforward ideas because we don't want you to just play around with the number of words, just play around with what do we call, all the proverbs and idioms. You can use proverbs and idioms, but 1 or 2 should be suffice. Okay, should be enough for you for the whole essay. You don't have to use like for every paragraph you try to impress your teachers, okay, by giving 1 proverb for each paragraph. We do not do that for English. All right. For organization, see, I am smiling again for organization because it is very easy for you to get 5 for organization for part 2. Okay, when your text is generally well organized and coherent by using a variety of cohesive devices. Oh, teacher, now we are having here the terms of a variety of cohesive devices. What does a variety of cohesive devices refer to? I'm going to share with you after this. Okay, so you focus and then you take notes. Try to use a variety of cohesive devices instead of the cohesive devices that we use in part 1 just now. Because now we are saying bye-bye to part 1. Okay, the easiest part. We are moving to next part, that is part 2. All right. So if you are able to use a variety of cohesive devices, you are saying welcome 5 marks for my organization. For language, use a range of everyday vocabulary just like part 1 with occasional inappropriate use of less common lexis. Teacher, inappropriate use, okay, that means you try to use less common lexis. You try to use good vocabulary. Okay, for example, significant. Okay, it's a good vocabulary. Okay, it's not a bombastic word pun significant kan. Okay, so use significant is supposed to be significance as a noun, but you write it as significant as an adjective. So we accept that. We still give you 5 marks for your attempt to use less common lexis, but they are occasionally inappropriately used. All right, because we are talking about part 2 now. For part 2 also, for language, use a range of simple and some complex grammatical forms. Okay, we are not only focusing on simple structures as in part 1 now. Now we are moving a little bit higher. We are searching. See, your teachers are going to be a little bit cruel here. They are looking, hunting here, hunting there. Where are the complex grammatical forms that you have used? And it is with a good degree of control, not perfectly written. Okay, you can still have errors here and there, but you attempted to use complex grammatical forms. So teaching points for the teacher and learning points for the students. That means, oh, as a student, I know, or after this, I need to Google something on complex grammatical forms. I will try to write complex structures and I will ask my teachers about this. And as for us, from the teacher's part, we will see, oh, this is another part that I need to focus in teaching my students. All right, that is the use of complex grammatical forms. That is not from teacher Zuraini. No, this is from the assessment scale. Okay, that is why it is very important for you to know the assessment scale. Errors do not impede communication. Remember about impeding? Your teachers do not have to stop anywhere and reread the sentence. Okay, if you are able to do that, welcome 5 marks for my language. So our focus now, our aim now, our objective now is to get 20/20 for our part 2 because that is very clear and it is not impossible for us to get 20/20, right? But I still have to show this to you. There is 3 marks. I don't want the 3 marks, but I still need to show you. Okay, minor irrelevance, okay, excuse me, and all omissions may be present. That means you miss one of the content points. All right, 3 questions. You only respond to 2 of the questions. So welcome 3, bye 5. If that happens, you are going to feel very regret. Okay, you are going to regret for not focusing on the question, because it is like um, the thing that should not happen. All right, especially for the average to good students, do not miss any of the content marks. All right, for communicative achievement, this one I'm not going to read. Why? Okay, this one, if you notice, okay, I'm going to put this in another box. Produce a text that communicates straightforward ideas using the conventions of the communicative. Oh, I say I do not want to read this now, right? Now I am reading. Okay. Use simple connectors and a limited number of cohesive devices. Teacher, we have read this one just now. Okay, this one is very clear, right? Use simple connectors and a limited number of cohesive devices appropriately. Teacher, we have read this one. Yes, we have read this one in part 1. In part 1, if you are able to use simple connectors and a limited number of cohesive devices, you already got 5 marks, right? Okay. But for part 2, you are only getting 3 marks. Why? Because, now I show you. Ta-da! Okay. Your teachers will have 3 marking scales or the assessment scale. For part 1, she is using 1 scale. After that, after done with part 1, she is going to put this one at the side, and she is going to take another assessment scale for part 2. Done with part 2, bye-bye, and then she's going to flip, and then she has another marking scale for part 3. Okay, that is why. So, we are not using the same marking scale for the 3 parts. So, for this one, if you read through, use basic vocabulary, use simple grammatical forms, all these 3 parts, the CA, the organization, and the language, in part 1, 5 marks. But now in part 3, only part 3. Sorry. Okay, in part 2, only 3 marks. See how we are saying bye-bye to part 1. We are stepping to a higher marking now. So it's going to be a bit difficult for you to score 20 over 20. But as I mentioned when I presented the 5 marks just now, it is not impossible at all. Okay, that is why I come out with another formula. Teacher, another formula? Yes, I love formula. All right. For part 1, we have GR123C. For part 2, I only change I actually. I is for the introduction, because in writing an essay, we do not have greeting. We do not have response. Okay, because we are writing an essay now, not responding to an email for part 2. Okay, for part 2, we need to have the introduction. So introduction, you are expected to write only 25 to 30 words of introduction. Very short introduction, or I would say that only 2 sentences. Okay, do not write a long introduction. Why? Because you only have 125 to 150 words. Okay, that is why we allocate only 25 to 30 words for your introduction. And then CE 1, 2, 3, teacher, it looks similar to the first formula. Yes. Okay, they are very similar. Content 1, elaboration 1. That's it, teacher. Content 1 and elaboration 1 for part 2. Yes. 1 content, 1 elaboration. Do not write longer than that. But that is from my point of view. If you do not want to follow my formula and you say, oh, I want to write more elaborations, I want to spend more on this, you are wasting your time. That's it. Okay, it is allowed, but you are wasting your time. Remember, we only have 30 minutes. And of course, in writing our essay, we are going to have our closing. Okay, is it the closing, the ones that we have with the GR123? No. Okay, now I am flipping to the second page. Okay, teacher, where is the closing? No closing. Why? Because the closing is depending on the title of the essay that is going to be tested. Teacher, you are giving us the same conjunctions and cohesive devices here. Kan boring kan? So I am listing the same conjunctions and cohesive devices. Why? Because if you are able to control all these the use of cohesive devices and use them appropriately, you are on the right track. But remember, to get 5, you need to use a variety of cohesive devices. What are a variety of cohesive devices, teacher? Okay, these are referring to a variety of cohesive devices. We are talking about pronoun reference, synonym, relative pronoun, and transitional words. Okay, if you are able to use this pronoun reference, even though there are errors in, looking at the chat. Even though there are errors in language, students can still get 5 for language. Yes, in question 1. Yes, Tuan Pengetua. They still can get 5 in part 1. All right, in question 1. That is why it is very such a waste if you do not attempt the questions correctly. All right. Okay. So coming back to the various types of cohesive devices, the first one is the pronoun reference. Okay, pronoun reference, we are talking about these, those, that, this. Okay, I am putting my books on the shelf. Those books. Okay, once you use those, that is considered as a pronoun reference. You are using one type of the cohesive devices already. Okay, if you are changing, I have a sister, her name is, the use of her pronoun, it is also considered as one of the cohesive devices already. So pronoun reference, there will be lots and lots of pronoun reference that we are going to use in our essay. Synonym, I do not list down here because you know synonym, right? So instead of saying beautiful, you can say gorgeous. Instead of saying huge, you can say instead of saying big, you can say it as huge. Okay, those are the synonyms that you can use in your essay writing. And relative pronoun, okay, it is said that generally, not all the time, generally when you are using relative pronoun, you are constructing a complex structure. For example, okay, the girl who is under the tree is my sister. Okay, the girl is my sister. Who is under the tree? It is not a independent it is not an independent phrase, it is a dependent phrase. So once you are using that, okay, most of the time you are constructing, without you realizing it, you are constructing a complex structure. So if you are able to use any of this, you that means you are securing the 5 marks for your language for part 2. Remember, part 2, now we are hunting for the use of complex structures by the students. And of course, the transitional words. This one likes hundreds. Okay, addition, it can be in addition, moreover, for moreover, blah blah blah. Okay, comparison, you have in comparison, compared to, and then you have like miscellaneous. Okay, as far as we know, astonishingly, this is like an interjection. Okay, and we consider that also as one type of cohesive devices. What if Rafi, the question just stopped there, right? What if okay, maybe you want to retype the question. Okay, so these are the transitional words, and as you notice, some of these are transitional words. Okay, why do I put this in a separate sheet? Why? Because this is to help my average students. Okay, at least when they are using this, I know they are on the right track. They will get at least 4 or 5 for their organization. All right. So if you are the high average and good students, do know all these types of cohesive devices and use them in writing out your essay. Okay. We have some more. And was taken from www.englishstudyhere.com. Okay, some of the cohesive devices, and I think we have this in your handouts, right? The handouts that I have shared with you. But don't worry, I'm going to give the slides to your teachers, and your teachers are going to share the slides with you later on. So if you want to refer to this again and again, yep, you can refer to them. So I give the example of pronoun reference here, synonym, relative pronoun, and transitional words. All right. Is it gonna be fatal? Tak sempat dia dah. Okay. Is it going to be fatal to us, teacher, if we miss any of the cohesive devices? Of course, you're not going to use all the cohesive devices, but you're going to use only 3 or 4 of them, 6 or 7 of them. Okay, but you're not going to if you miss the cohesive devices, that means you are not going to construct compound sentences or complex sentences. So it will affect your marks for organization and also your language. All right, so be careful of that. Is there any penalty if I didn't include cohesive devices in my essay? If you do not include any of the cohesive devices, that means you are using all the simple language, simple structures. and that will affect your marks for organization and language. Only one or two? Okay. Okay, my dear. Teacher patah balik ah. Teacher patah balik. Alright. Okay, if you see here. Okay, use simple connectors and a limited number of cohesive devices appropriately. If you only use simple connectors and a limited number of cohesive devices for part 2, you are going to get only 3 marks for your organization. Do you want that? And if you are using limited number of cohesive devices and limited number of simple connectors here, that means you fail to construct, what do we call here? You only constructing simple grammatical forms. You fail to construct, again, I have to go back. Okay, you fail to construct some complex grammatical forms. That means it is going to affect your marks for organization and language. Right? So that is why I really want you to understand the assessment scale so that you will be able to know, oh, if I do this, these are the marks that I'm going to get. If I do this, this is the penalty that I'm imposing to myself. All right. So is there any penalty? Yes, you are imposing the penalty to yourself. Now you know already how to get good marks. Why do you want to miss the marks? All right, that is my question. What if we have error in spelling? Does it affect our mark? Yes, it will affect your mark for the language if it is too gross. Okay, it is too obvious. There are too many of spelling errors. When there are too many spelling errors, it will affect CA, Communicative Achievement, and also language directly because your reader has to stop here and then try to understand what you want to say. Okay, once that happens, you are no longer holding the target reader's attention. Okay, that is why your CA and your language will be affected. Okay, if we use any new type of connectors in English, isn't they add mark for that? Okay, do you want to create your own connectors? Okay, no, I'm not laughing at the question. I'm thinking, okay, about the question. Are you going to create new type of connectors? Okay, with these that we have so many here, you want to come up with your own connectors? That is my question. All right, Kirti, right? Kirti Wijaya Kumar. Okay, that is my question. Okay, if you are able to use these ones that I have shared with you, you are on the right track already. Okay, but if you want to use more and then they are inappropriately used, you are you are putting your marks at risk. So why? Who do you want to impress? Do you want to impress your examiners or your teachers by using all those yang pelik-pelik lah? Do we call that as rarely used by the other students? No, you don't have to do that. Okay, you are competing with yourself, not with the other students. All right? Okay. So now this is our question for part 2. Write your answer in 125 to 150 words in an appropriate start. Okay, your class has been discussing how teenagers normally spend their leisure time. Your teacher has asked you to write an essay about the activity most teenagers love to do as their pastime. Look here, they are using the synonym leisure time, pastime. Okay, even in the question. In your essay, you should write about what kind of activity do teenagers enjoy most? The first question. Give reasons why they enjoy it. Second question. When do they normally carry out the activity? Third question. Okay, write your essay using all the notes and giving reasons for your point of view. So if you notice for part 2, you are going to be given these 3 bullet. This is what we call as 3 bullet points. Okay, you need to be very careful. Okay, the first question, what kind of activity? So that means you need to come up with only one activity. Okay, what kind of activity? Be careful with the small things in the question. Okay, give reasons why they enjoy it. So that means you are going to give more than one reason because give reasons plural. Okay, this is again from my humble point of view. I would like to advise you only to come up with 2 reasons. And I will show you why. All right? Only 2 reasons. Teacher, I want to write more. It is up to you. But in my humble opinion, enough by giving us 2 reasons because we only have 125 to 150 words and we only have how many minutes is now? 30 minutes to cover for part 2. Okay, when do they normally carry out the activity? Again, we come to the singular answer. Okay, now let us take a look at our sample here. Okay, I put my formula up here. ICE 1, 2, 3, C. I'm going to start with my introduction. Okay, so we are going to focus on our introduction here. Listen very carefully. For introduction, there will be two types of introduction. This is the first type. The first type of introduction is for low average to special students. Remember, special students, they have very low ability or low competency in language use. Okay, I do not want them to spend so much time cracking their brain thinking of how to start their essay. And they will start disturbing the teachers. Teacher, I do not know how to start the essay. Teacher, brain freeze. Teacher, I do not know how to start. Help me, teacher. So instead of bothering the other students, if you do not have the ideas, okay, this is type number 1 introduction. That is by using the rubric. Okay, so this is the rubric. Okay, this is the one that we have taken from the question or the rubric. So what you need to do is to identify the pronoun in the rubric. So I have used the blue ink there. We have your class has been discussing. Your teacher has asked you to write an essay. So after you have highlighted all the pronouns used in the rubric, now you change them to personal pronoun. So your will become our, your will become our, and you will become us. Okay, so our class has been discussing how teenagers normally spend their leisure time. Our teacher has asked us to write an essay about the activity most teenagers love to do as their pastime. Done with the intro, but this is not impressive enough. Okay, to tell you the truth. Okay, this is not impressive enough, but to help the students who get stuck during examination. Rather than you spend so much time thinking of the introduction, it is better for you to take it from the rubric and change the pronoun. And remember our conjunctions and cohesive devices, you can use time frame in our last lesson or last week and put them in the middle or at the beginning of your essay. That's it. Done with intro. Okay, no, as I mentioned, this is type 1 introduction. Type 2 introduction. Okay, this is what I really hope that most of you are able to produce. Okay, you come up with your own introduction, write your own introduction only in 2 sentences, and as I mentioned just now, if possible, try to use only 25 to 30 words. Okay, 25 to 30 words of the introduction. Okay, clear? So remember, there are 2 types of introduction. The first one, if you get stuck, to help you out as not to waste your time, is to use the rubric and change the pronoun. Okay, but if you have the ideas, okay, if you look at this question, our introduction needs to be about teenagers and needs to be on how they spend their leisure time. Okay, so you can write a simple introduction. During this, okay, I would like to count. During this pandemic of COVID-19, we are stuck in our house. Okay, number 1, sentence 1. What are the activities that teenagers can do to fulfill their time? Okay, I managed to come out with 24 words of introduction, and that should be enough. Okay, only 2 sentences, 25 to 30 words. Will it affect our marks for language if we use most of the words from the question as our introduction? Okay, introduction, it is like just a part of the essay. Okay, it will not affect your marks. Okay, but if you are able to use to come up with your introduction, that would be better. Okay, Wei Ming? All right. So that is the introduction, and now we can proudly say, okay, teacher, we have done with the introduction. Cancel I. Okay, I's 1, 2, 3. See, we have done with our I. Now we put the first question to be answered. What kind of activity do teenagers enjoy most? Remember, I said just now, 1 content point, 1 elaboration, and you would say, really, teacher, only 1 content point, 1 elaboration? Okay, this is how I do it. Okay, what kind of activity do teenagers enjoy most? I put the question here again, and then we answer the question. I would like to share about the activity teenagers enjoy most, which is playing online games. And I straightly ask the students to look at the list again, okay, and they choose to use first and foremost as the cohesive devices. Okay, so done with that. But they cannot cancel CE1 yet. Why? Because one content, we need one elaboration. So come again, one husband and five wives. Okay, we are going to use what now? What makes you say so? What makes you say that teenagers enjoy most playing online games? I am positive about this because it has become a trend among them. Okay, so after you have one content, one elaboration, now you can cancel introduction done just now, CE1 done. Okay, happy with that? All right, now we proceed to the second content point. Remember the question for the second content point? Give reasons why they enjoy it. And I mentioned just now, please students, I would like to advise you. Okay, I mentioned just now, please students, I would like to advise you, only give us two reasons. Okay, because we have very limited time in constructing this essay. So reason one, okay, why do you say that teenagers enjoy online games? Make us mentally active. So you put it in a sentence. The first reason is playing online games makes teenagers' mind mentally active. So the one that in red ink, okay, the one in the red ink is the cohesive devices and also conjunction. All right. So the first reason is playing online games makes teenagers' mind mentally active. Now use the husband. How? You said mentally active. How? Okay. Most games generally have various levels to be completed in limited time. They learn about time management. Now the students already feel very at ease using subsequently, using in brief. Why? Because they already know the meaning of each cohesive devices as listed in the flyers. Okay, they feel very confident. They know that they are using all the cohesive devices correctly and appropriately. So they proudly said, teacher, I want to use in brief now. Okay, and then I want to use subsequently now. All right. Okay, so we allow that. Good students, keep asking. Do not be shy. Yes, keep asking. Do not be shy. With me, with teacher Zhu, no, you don't have to be shy. And I think with all teachers also, right? We English teachers, we are very open-minded. We entertain the students because you need to love the teachers first. Then only you can love the language learning. Okay, now we continue. Reason one done. Okay, reason one done. Elaboration done. Okay, but still we are not done with question number 2 yet. Why? Because the question asks us give reasons. We only give one reason. Now we need to give another reason. Oh, I said that they enjoy playing online games because they become socially active. So you put that in sentence. Okay, in a sentence form, teenagers learn to become socially active by playing games. What is the evidence? Okay, straight away ask yourself. Again, that is why I said some of the students say, teacher, kita ni macam mental kan teacher? You ask the questions and you answer the questions yourself. Okay, you have to do that because you want the elaboration. Okay, that is how, just imagine, okay, how passionate a teacher has to be in entertaining the student, right? Okay, so we have to entertain our students so that they will love writing. Okay, so they put the first one, socially active, and I ask the question, what is the evidence? Okay, you said they become socially active. What is the evidence? They interact and play. Okay, typo there again, cancel C. Okay, they interact and play with strangers online. Stop. Okay, and then these students, because they just learn how to use all these cohesive devices, so they are so like into it. All right, teacher, I want to use without any doubt. So if you notice in part 1, the students already use without any doubt. Now in part 2, they want to use without any doubt again. I allow them, just let them explore the use of the cohesive devices. So they use without any doubt, they interact and play with strangers online. Teacher, you said just now only one elaboration for one content point. Now you have 2 sentences. You have 2 elaborations. No, the ones that I have bracketed just now, it is not the elaboration. That is the closing sentence for reasons. Okay. After we give reasons, 2 reasons, or if you still want to give 3 reasons, you still want to give 3 reasons, which I do not really advise you to do so, okay, you are going to write, these are 3 reasons why they like playing online games. But we are saying here, please write only 2 reasons. So these are 2 reasons why they like playing online games. This is like a closing sentence to point number 2, because we want our essay to flow smoothly when the readers are reading our essay. So this one, something that you can memorize lah. Okay, these are 2 reasons. Okay, will it affect marks for content if I only write 1 reason instead of 2? Jenny, why do you want to waste? Why do you want to risk your mark? Okay, I cannot say whether you are going to lose 1 mark. Maybe your content will become 4 because the question asks you give reasons with the S. Okay, if you only give 1, there is a possibility that your mark for content, I said there is a possibility. Why? Because we are not being exposed to the marking, to the exact marking yet. All right. So, but if I were the SPM candidate for 2020, I will not try to joke around with this. I will not try to risk my mark for this. Okay, so how do we pronounce your name? Jenny Lin. Yeah. Okay. So, Jen, I would advise you, please come up with 2, please. All right. Okay. So that it is very clear. That is how we do it. All right. It is not compulsory. Again, I would say this is not compulsory, but this is from my understanding of what I have gone through with the sample text as shared by LPM. So why do you want to take a risk of losing 1 mark, 1 precious mark for our CEFR? So now you can proudly say, okay, introduction done, CE1 done, teacher, CE2 done. Okay. Now we go to the next one. That is CE3. When do they normally carry out the activity? Okay, again, put here, just waste your time because during the in-class practice, you need to do lots of writing, right? So just write it again here. When do they normally carry out their activity? Every day. Teenagers will play online games every day, and then they choose to use normally. Normally, teenagers will play online games every day. And I asked them, how long? How many hours? Okay, they said they use 2 hours. And I said, you are lying to me. Okay, you are lying to me if you say you are only using 2 hours to play games in a day. I bet some of you spend hours and hours of playing games in a day, right? Okay, but we try to show that we are good. We only spend 1 hour or 2 hours to play games in a day here. And then the student said, teacher, I'm going to use another one, teacher, that is on the whole. Okay, taking from the list here. Okay, on the whole, they use 2 hours to play games in a day. You got this. Why? Because he played more than 2 hours. The online games, I bet so. Okay, remember, okay, if you proudly said now, yay teacher, we have done with the introduction, we have done with CE 1, 2, 3, but don't forget about closing, the C, okay? So closing, teenagers enjoy playing online games, they still need to manage their time well. Okay, my student, this particular student decided to use although, okay, although I told her at that time, normally for closing, we are going to use all in all or in brief, or you can use in conclusion or as a conclusion. But she said, teacher, I want to use although, can I? Okay, when I write the sentence, although teenagers enjoy playing online games, they still need to manage their time well. And I think, okay, it suits the context. All right, so we accepted the use of although here. As you can see, teacher, closing only 1 sentence, enough. Okay, enough with 1 sentence about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to 20 words for closing should be enough already. Okay, girls and boys, this is the final product. Okay, look at the number of words, 164 words by giving only 2 reasons. Imagine if you give us 3 or 4 reasons. You are writing about 200 to 200 plus words and you are wasting your time by doing that. And look at the paragraphing. Wow, teacher, 5 paragraphs. Should we write in 5 paragraphs? There is no like a clear cut saying that it is a must for you to write in 5 paragraphs. But if you look at how this student laid out the essay, you can say that the first paragraph is the introduction, second paragraph is content point number 1, third paragraph, the long one, okay, that is content point 2, okay, the fourth paragraph is content point 3, and the last paragraph, only one line, is the closing. So 5 paragraphs, but if you choose to write one paragraph for introduction, and then you want to join all the content paragraph in one paragraph, okay, one content point in one paragraph, and then you have one short closing paragraph. So that means you are going to have only 3 paragraphs. I think it is also okay. So I would not say that 5 paragraphs is a must for you to come out for part 2. Okay, but then again, I have to highlight this. Again, my personal opinion that it looks nice. It looks like you have arranged things accordingly. So why not? We follow something good, okay, to help us to get the maximum marks for our part 2. So this was also given 20/20 marks, okay, for part 2. Now it's your turn. Oh, do you want us to write the essay now online? No, of course not. Okay, this is for you to write, and then you can send to your teachers. Okay, I purposely choose this question because this question resembles the question that we have gone through just now, that is the online games. Okay, write your answer in 125 to 150 words in an appropriate style. Your school English society has been discussing how the members can help the community. Your teacher advisor has asked you to write an essay about how do you prefer to contribute. In your essay, you should write about what you would like to do, reasons for your choice. When do you want to carry out the activity? You write your essay using all the notes and giving reasons for your point of view. So I really would appreciate if you can write this essay. Try to follow ICE 1, 2, 3, C formula and see whether that formula can guide and can help you out in writing your essay. Okay, try this. All right. Again, I put here my formula, ICE 1, 2, 3, C. And for part 1, we had GR 1, 2, 3, C. Part 2, ICE 1, 2, 3, C. For you to use, and remember to use a variety of cohesive devices, pronoun reference, synonym, relative pronoun, and also the transitional words in order to secure 5 marks for your organization and also for your language. Okay, how was it so far for part 1 and part 2? Before we proceed to part 3. Okay, allow me to have a sip of drink. Bismillah.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Aini. So for those who have questions about part 1 and part 2, you can ask the questions now. Okay, for those who have questions, do post your questions in the comment. Okay, so far there's no questions.
No question. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Ready? Ready? Now we are going to go to the last part for tonight. Okay, that is our part 3. Then, okay, part 3. I'm taking a deep breath. Inhaling a deep breath. And continue with part 3 now. Okay, part 3. Okay, an extended text of 200 to 250 words. Okay, there will be an article, a question on an article, a review, a report, or a story. Okay, some of the students, especially girls, they would say, teacher, I feel very comfortable writing a narrative essay. So can I just focus on writing a narrative during our practice? No. I would say no, because it is mentioned here, you will be tested in any 3 of these. What if you focus too much on writing a narrative essay, and suddenly for SPM 2021, you are being tested on an article, a review, and a report. A story was not tested. You cannot say anything, okay, because as it is mentioned here, any three of these will be tested. Okay. And then another interesting question posted by one of the students during the webinar. Okay, he asked me about the review. Okay, and I would like to highlight it here. Okay, he said, "Teacher, what if I didn't watch the movie, but I really wanted to I really want to answer the question on a movie review. Okay, a review of a movie, but I create the movie. Okay, so he planned to create the title of the movie, the director, the actors and actresses, and also the plot of the movie. Okay, can you really do that? Okay, my answer is, as far as I am concerned, okay, there is no black and white to this. As far as I am concerned, we are not judging you on the on the factual things. Okay, we do not know about the factual things. Of course, as a human being, I cannot watch all the movies. So even if you create a movie, I can never know. Okay, and during SPM, it is impossible for the examiners or the teachers to check each of the movie posted by the students whether the movie exists or not. So there's a possibility that you can create, okay, the movie or the book, but still we are looking at the use of the language. Okay, that was my response to the students' question. All right. Now we are going to go to the next part. We want to get 20 over 20. Teacher, you say it is a bit difficult. It is a bit difficult, but then it is not impossible for you to get 20 over 20. Okay, for content, again, the same criterion have been cited for content. That is, all content is relevant to the task and target reader is fully informed. Okay, there will be 3 bullet points. There will be only 2 bullet points. There will be no bullet point at all for part 3. So it depends on the types of questions that you are going to get. For CA, use conventions of the communicative task effectively to hold the target reader's attention. Again, you need to be able to attract the reader's attention and communicate with ease. That means when the reader reads your essay, it's going to be a very smooth reading and fulfilling all communicative purposes. So if you choose to write an article, that means you are going to inform about something. So it will be lots of informative structures, information that you include in your essay. If you are writing a report, you are going to use lots of structures like active voice, no, passive voice, like reported. All right, so throughout the essays, it looks like a report, and we as readers, we are convinced that we are reading a report. Okay, that if you are able to do that, that means you achieve the communicative achievement. All right, you get full marks for CA. For organization, text is generally well organized and coherent using a variety of cohesive devices. Again, a variety of cohesive devices, but then it includes with generally good effect. Okay, I am not worried about this. Once you understand the use of cohesive devices, okay, once you know how to use cohesive devices appropriately, actually you are using all those with good effect already. Okay, so we are not worried about organization. But now look at the language. Use a range of vocabulary including less common lexis appropriately. In part 2, we said it is still acceptable if you have what we call spelling errors, okay, when you try to use less common lexis. But then for part 3, we are looking at the appropriacy of the use of the less common lexis. Okay, so you need to be very careful when you are using good words or good vocabulary in part 3. Use a range of simple and some complex grammatical forms with control and flexibility. So in part 3, we expect that the students are able to use complex grammatical forms correctly. You are not only attempting to use complex grammatical forms like in part 2, but now you need to showcase that you are able to use complex grammatical forms correctly and appropriately. Okay, occasional errors will be here and there. Okay, slips will be here and there, but they do not interrupt the communication. Okay, three marks. And then I'm going to read only this one for content again. Again, teacher, again, only for this part I'm going to read to you. Minor irrelevances or omissions may be present. Okay, so no more tricks like the previous 1119. Okay, like your brother and sister, your seniors before this, the first paragraph, some of them who are not able to really understand the question, okay, for what do we call? Continuous essay, they will just introduce themselves. Okay. Thank you, Shakira. But we are still in the middle of sharing, so you need to be with us okay, until the end. Sikit je lagi, sikit je lagi. Okay. So that means do not introduce yourself. Do not tell us where do you come from. Do not tell us your age because that is considered as minor irrelevance. Okay. In CFR, we want you to be directly attempt the question. You do not have to go to Kuala Lumpur and then come back to Johor Bahru. No. Okay. Just stick to the question, answer the question. But for this one, I'm not going to read. Why? Why, teacher? Because it is too long? No, not because it is too long. Because we have read this already in part 2. In part 2, all this meant 5 marks. Now in part 3, they only give you 3 marks. All right. As you can see here, wow, teacher. Okay, wow, teacher. Why? Because part 1, it is going to be very simple, easy. Part 2, quite difficult. And part 3, the most difficult part for you to, what we call, to collect marks, to gather the marks. All right. So that is why you need to understand this and you will see. Teacher, there is an overlapping of the criterion. Yes, that is why later on your teachers will share this with you. And then you will see. Oh, I am the B1 level teacher. If you proudly say I am the B1 level student, okay, for the use of English, you will see here for as the B1, you can score 5, 5, 5, 5 for part 1. And for part 2, there is a possibility for you to get 4, 3, 3, 3. But I mentioned just now because we already understand, right? Oh, part 2, there is a big possibility for me to get 20 over 20. All right. But for part 3, if you are the B1 level student, there is possibility that you're going to get only 1, 1, 1. Oh, the one, I don't want 1, 1, 1. Okay. Okay, I don't want 1, 1, 1 for assessment skill for part 3. At least I want 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay. So set your target. You need to print this out, understand the assessment skill so that you know I am on the right track. I know what I'm going to do to get that marks. All right. So when your teacher reward you the marks during the exam, you know whether you can ask the teacher, teacher, do you think that I can get more marks for this? Okay, you can highlight the parts that you have already used for your cohesive devices or the vocabulary, at least to get extra mark from your teacher. That is what we call as markah kasihan. Okay, markah kasihan, not markah kasihan for CFR. Okay, if you deserve that, maybe teachers, because we are also humans, maybe we overlooked the use of the language that you have used in the essay. So once you know the assessment skill, it is very easy for you to score, I would say. Okay, for this, for our discussion for tonight, okay, since we have only 2 hours, we are going to focus on an article. And there is a reason for me to choose this question. Okay, this was taken from what we call examination syndicate. Okay, your teachers have done the marking practice last year with their JUKs. Okay, that means their Jurulatih Utama Kebangsaan and also their JUDs, Jurulatih Utama Daerah. And I have taken one extract from the booklet. Okay, I would like to share with you because I really want you to see it is not impossible for you to get 20 over 20 for part 3. Okay, we focus only on an article now. Let's zoom in. Okay, you see this notice on the board outside the school library. Articles wanted my school canteen. What other types of food would you like to be served? What special facilities should your canteen have? How can you improve your canteen? Write us an article answering these questions. The best article will be displayed on the school magazine. Write your article. I have already mentioned just now, not all the times that you are going to have these 3 bullets. All right? Sometimes you only have 2 bullets, especially for your story. And sometimes there will be no bullets. There will be like a short paragraph, and you need to identify the tasks that you have to attend to. Okay, let us take a look at this one. Again, teacher, you are using the same formula, ICE 1, 2, 3, C. Yes, actually for part 3, to be honest with you, I didn't come out with any formula. But then one of the teachers in SBP, one of the SBPs, okay, Sekolah Berasrama Penuh, she contacted me after we had a sharing session. She said, Kak Ni, your formula actually can be used with part 3. And then what she did was, she put this. Kuasa 3. Multiple by 3. Why? Okay, according to her, we can use the same formula, introduction, content 1, E3. Okay, so what she planned was that. So I have to give credit to this teacher because that is not from me. Okay, so introduction, still introduction. Okay, we are going to write about 30 to 40 words of introduction. Okay, for CE 1 to 3, now it becomes CEEE. Okay, that is why we have the power of 3, multiple by 3. So we have the one content point with elaboration, example. Okay, so for each one content point, we are going to have elaboration, example. Okay, so content point 3, elaboration, example, and then we are going to close in conclusion, closing our essay. Okay, again, teacher, these cohesive devices, but remember, not only this, we need to use a variety of cohesive devices. So you're going to see this again and again so that you are going to remember. Okay, welcome to the third part. Okay, the best part of all. Okay, I put the formula here, ICE 1, 2, 3, C. Okay, we are going to start with the introduction. Okay, the one up here, the 3 bullets are the question, and in the blue box, okay, is my working space. Okay, this is an article. So an article, normally we will have the title and also the writer. Teacher, I know one of you will ask me, teacher, what if I forget to write my name? Okay, why do you want to forget to write your name when it is an article? Of course, as I mentioned earlier, in CFR, we do not really focus on the format. But, okay, remember for CA, okay, you need to follow or you need to use the correct text type. Although maybe you forget about the name, I guess we would accept that, okay, as long as you have the title. But again, okay, as asked by one of the students just now, what if she only answer one reason? Okay, I would say that I want to secure as many marks as possible because SPM is like the beginning of my future. So now I know the format is like this. I do not want to lose any of the format. There's no format mark. I do not want to miss maybe my CA marks. Okay, the communicative achievement mark for that. Okay, so we start with introduction. Teacher, I want to, what if we write, I want to know code. I want to know if we write more than the word limit. Kirthi, I have mentioned just now, in CFR, we do not impose any penalty if you write more than the word limit given. For example, for this part, only 200 to 250 words. But then, do you have time for that? Okay, remember that we have spent 15 to 20 minutes for part 1, 30 minutes for part 2. Now we have only the extra of 40 minutes for part 3. Okay, and we still need to spare about 5 to 7 minutes to check our whole 3 essays again. So do not write too long. There will be no penalty given, but I advise you not to write too long. Okay, that's it. Okay. So the school canteen is a place where every students are. Okay, look at this student. Okay, very simple errors done. All students gather together. Together here is what do we call as IRR, irrelevant. Okay, you do not need the word together there. Okay, so where all students gather to buy their food during recess time, the canteen is an important part of the school. It is where the students fill their empty stomach after hours of learning in their classroom. The canteen is visited every school day, so it is important to provide a quality canteen at the school premise. The question is how to provide a high quality canteen. This is a very good introduction that ends with a question. You are like asking your reader how to provide a high quality canteen. You are hinting to the readers that these are the things that you are going to discuss in the essay. Okay, the one that I highlighted red is the use of a variety of cohesive devices, WH. Where, after, and then we have so here. Teacher, I want to know if we, okay, already answered that one, huh? Okay, so no penalty, my dear, no penalty. Don't worry about that. But you need to remind yourself we only have 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay, so done with introduction, a very simple introduction just now. Now we go to CE1. Okay, CE1 asks us, what are the types of food that you would you like to be served? Okay, firstly, I would like to start with the food. The school canteen should serve a well-balanced meal for the students. This is because students need to maintain a healthy diet. If the canteen serves, canteen is singular, serves junk food such as fries, hot dogs, and burgers, students will make it a habit to eat junk food every day at school. It's supposed to be 2 words. This is not an adjective. Okay, so 2 words every day at school. Junk food is not healthy and shouldn't. As I mentioned just now, do not use contraction. You need to spell them in a full form and should not be eaten for 5 consecutive days. Okay, firstly, we have because, we have if, we have and, okay, as our cohesive devices and conjunctions, and we have the one that I highlighted yellow, are the use of the good vocabulary. So we have maintain, we have consecutive. They are not difficult words. Okay, they are common words but rarely used in daily communication. Done with done with CE1, 1 cancel here. Now we are moving to CE2. Okay, what special facilities should your canteen have? Secondly, the school canteen should have separated sections for each age. Oh my God, again, another error. It's supposed to be singular. For example, Form 5 students can eat at their own section. This way, the canteen will be less chaotic and more organized. No food or drinks will be spilled and the canteen will remain clean. Everyone can enjoy their break peacefully and comfortably. So we have secondly, we have for example this and for our cohesive devices. Why do I highlight that? Because we want to secure our organization marks, all right? And then we have good vocabulary, separated, chaotic, remain peacefully and comfortably. Yes, done with CE2. Okay, this student use only what do I call not so ambitious the vocabulary, but then they are here and there complex structures. All right. So 1 done, 2 done, introduction done. Okay, cancel here. Now leaving us with number 3 and C. How can you improve your canteen? Lastly, the canteen can improve. Okay, structure there can be improved by providing meals in trays, and students should bring their own containers to put their food instead of using plastic. By doing this, we can reduce the usage of plastic and we can teach students, okay, there is no errors there, underline, okay, okay, the importance of it. We can also encourage the students to benefit the use of containers if they again, you should not use contraction, but still, they is plural form. So you cannot use doesn't. It's supposed to be do not. Okay, do not use don't. Spell in full form. Do not want to eat the food at the canteen and put it to a good use. Okay, put it, what does it refer to? It is referring to the containers. So that is why it was given underline. Put them in a good use. They can bring the food home as well by using the container so that no food will be wasted. So we have many cohesive devices here. Lastly, and by doing this, and then we have also and as well, so that, and we have good vocabulary, providing containers instead of importance, benefit, because some of the students, they do not know how to differentiate between important and importance. So this one is a good use of a simple vocabulary. All right, done with that. Now you can just cancel all the content, just cancel the introduction, CE, and then we are focusing on closing. Okay, I will see. All of the above are my suggestions on how our school canteen can be improved. I hope this article can benefit us in some ways, and the school authority will upgrade the school canteen to be a better one. Again, every students. Okay, determiners is supposed to be all students should never vandalize the school canteen, and we should all take good care of it. If you notice, when I am reading this, there is not many of difficult words, bombastic words used by the students. All right. Very easy reading, smooth reading, and look at the marks given by LPM. Voila, teacher. Yes, teacher. So that means it is possible for us to get 20 over 20 for part 3. Yes, my dear. Okay, there is a great possibility for you to score 20 over 20 for part 3. All content is relevant to the task. Target reader is fully informed. That is why it was given 5. The candidate uses the conventions of an article. Okay, it looks like an article, and then when we read it, lots of information given, and the target reader's attention is held with ease. So 5 marks given. Tick. The candidate's response is well organized and coherent. How? By the use of lots or a variety of cohesive devices and good paragraphing. Tick. 5 marks for organization. Language. The candidate uses a range of vocabulary including less common lexis related to food and healthy appropriately, the ones that we have highlighted with the yellow ink just now. There is a range of simple and complex grammatical forms used with control and flexibility. Tick. 5. So 20 over 20. So can you see that, students? It is not impossible for you to get 20 over 20 for part 3. Then, okay, this one, I'm supposed to take this out, okay? Ada lagi. Okay, no, IMG and Mr. NG. If my elaboration is short, will it affect the overall marks or only the marks for content? If your elaboration is short, but you are answering all the questions, okay, the content mark will be still be 5. But then it will affect your marks for organization, because when the elaboration is short, that means you are not using enough cohesive devices and conjunctions, right? And then it will automatically affect your marks for language. Why? Because if the elaboration is short, that means you are not using complex structures. That is how we see it, G. All right? Okay, so these are the what we call as wrap up. Okay, remember that you are going to be assessed according to content, CA, organization, and language. Okay, and some of the important notes that I would like you to remember. I hope that I have put this in your handouts. If not, get it from your teachers, because I'm going to share these slides with your teachers. And this is what is most important, my dear, especially for those who want to really score for 11192, paper 2 writing. Okay, you know part 1, these are the criterion that I need to fulfill to get 5555. For part 2, these are the criterion. The same things that I have shared with you just now. Okay, but then now I am gathering all the 3555 in one slide. So that is going to be very easy for you to refer. Oh, I have to follow this. I have to use this in order to get 5 for the organization. So you know already. Okay. So you're going to be assessed according to C, CA, O, and L. Okay, lexical and grammatical aspects of writing and also accuracy, of course. And this one is answering again, okay, the question posted by Kirti just now. A response that is longer than the guideline number of words, there is no penalty applied for overlength or underlength responses if they are relevant. All right. So that is the end for the session for today. Okay. If you ask me now, what is the secret of becoming a writer? It is to write, write, and keep on writing. Okay. So what is your opinion about our session for today, for tonight, after 2 hours being with me? I am flying over to Johor Bahru from Kota Baru, Kelantan. So do you gain something from me? Or do you think that you have wasted your 2 hours with me tonight? Okay. So let us share some of your feedback so that I will know what to improve on my next session with the other schools. All right. Okay. So if you have any question, I'm going to hand it over to our moderator. Okay. I'm going to respond to your questions. If not, that means macam mana ya sayang? I'm asking the moderator now.
All right, thank you, Dr. Suraini. It was really indeed insightful and interesting, isn't it, guys? Okay, now we will go ahead and take some time for questions now. Any questions so far, my dear students? Okay, just a reminder, please be sure to type your questions into the comment section. Any questions so far? Have we gone through the questions where from Kirti? If we write more than the word limit,
Yes.
we have.
Yes, we have answered to that one.
And G
Also, the
also.
question from G.
Okay. So far, no questions so far, and I think we have covered all of our questions previously.
So if the teachers have any questions too, if we have any teachers with us to tonight, okay, if I can respond to you. If not, I'm going to refer to my superior lah. Okay, those who are better than me. Okay, stop sharing so that I'm going to be with you. Stop sharing.
If
Okay.
there is no. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, questions from Kirti, is it?
Okay, how many marks are deducted if didn't follow the format? Okay, as I mentioned just now, for CFR, there is no mark allocated for format, but then we are afraid that it will affect your marks for CA. Okay, your communicative achievement. For instance, if we forgot to write the title for article essay for part 2, so it will not look like an essay, because normally an essay we will have the title. You are focusing on part 2, right? Okay, so I would like to advise you to be careful of this. All right, these small aspects of writing. Okay.
Okay, any more question? Teachers, any question as well?
Fire.
So far, no questions because it's very clear, very informative. I think most of our students, they have learned a lot, okay, from Dr. Aini, because it's actually something that we have not covered in our class. Some of the points we didn't cover. So I hope that through this webinar, they know what to do. Okay, they know how to gain more marks for their writing. So Fatin, I think you can come to the end for this webinar.
All right. Before that, Teacher Zuraini, is there anything else you wanted to cover before a wrap up?
Okay. Just to remind the students, I think that the marking will be online too, right, for next year. Okay, since we have started online marking. Okay, from our experience last year, okay, it is very important about your handwriting, my dear students. If possible, do not use the 0.5 tip for your pen. Okay, try to use 0.7, which is going to be bold and very easy for the examiners to write. And once you want to cancel, do not give us the artwork. You don't have to write like make a wave, and then you make an arrow. Teacher, sorry, this one is cancelled. No, we don't need that. Okay, you just cancel like one line, and do not use your what do we call our era
Correction.
is the liquid paper, right? But their era is not liquid paper. They have that straight ones. Okay.
Correction tape.
The correction tape. See my age. Okay, the correction tape really affect your scanning, the scanning of the script. So please do not use that. Just cancel one line. All right. So those are some of the tips that I would like to share with the students lah. Because we are really afraid that it will affect their marks during the online marking. That's it. So thank you, Tay. Thank you. Thank you to the school. And can I know who is that lady just now that you addressed? Shakira.
Yeah, Shakira.
She's a teacher, is it?
Yeah, she's a teacher. She's also a GKMP.
Oh, I see. From
From
your
other
school?
school.
Oh,
No,
from the
from
other
other
school.
school.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you
No,
to
she's
all
no
the...
longer GKMP. She's the penyelih petang.
Oh, okay.
Ya, naik pangkat sudah.
Thank you to all the teachers who joined me. So if there is anything wrong that I have shared with the students, please tell Tay, and then Tay will inform me. Hi, girl. Okay. I am so afraid because that is what I shared with you are the understanding that I get regarding CFR after I have discussed with a few of the English teachers in Kota Baru. Okay. So if there's any information, just inform me. I am open to that. Okay, very open to that. And best of luck to all the students. All right, please get the highest mark that you can get from 11192. That's it. So that is my ending.
Thank you very much.
All right. Great.
Fatih?
Thank you, Dr. Zuraini, for the enlightening and entertaining presentation on the answering techniques. Your advice on the formula is especially useful, even for us teachers. We find it very
Yes,
useful.
agree.
Yes, isn't it? Okay, we really
Yes.
appreciate you for being here, and thank you very much again, Teacher Zuraini. And our GKMP, Puan Teo Suyan, sends her regards to you, and she also said thank you very much. Okay, I guess that's all. It's a wrap. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you
Okay.
being here. And okay, and then for students from SMK, KMA, your teachers are going to give you the link for attendance. So do fill in the form. And lastly, thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time.
Okay, thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.